Greetings, everybody, and welcome. Let's see if we can get some people. I hope everybody's doing well today. Let's see if SoSharpDavid is available. Hopefully he'll pop up in a minute. Hey, Marion, how you doing? Con, good to see you, man. Hello, Park Mark, BBS Live, good to see you. Banaka, good to see you. Sefferton, the great Sefferton from Sefferton Shaves. Big time. SoSharpDavid. Okay, now I see him. See if we can get David. Hey, Andre. There he is. Now we can adjust our camera a little bit. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear.
There we go. 1 second. Drop my notes. Not that I have a ton of notes for today, but hope everybody's doing well, by the way. Welcome. What is today? 20th of November?
Oh, wow. Con Kazanzitas is actually watching the show. Holy
That's
hell.
big time. A lot of people,
Shady, what's up, Taylor?
a lot of people don't know who Con is. They should know. They go watch his videos. They would be impressed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree. Hey, so Chris, before we start off, we wanted to talk a little bit about something that it's a charity running. The people over at Head Shavers Ball is a Facebook group for head shavers. I think run by my homie Taylor Alejandro. They're doing a fundraiser for cranial Care Bears. Charity. It involves a bunch of giveaways, including some unobtainium items. For every $5 they get an entry, and for every 25 they get one extra entry. So $25 is 6 entries, 50 is 12. So they could go ahead and join the Facebook group Head Shavers Ball.
That's awesome.
And they can get all the details there. It's completely public. It's completely transparent. 100% of the proceeds will go to Cranial Care Bears, and they just have all kinds of cool stuff. Max Schaefer Soaps, shows from Shannon's, Shave Bowl from Alfred Wayman, Uncle John Soap, a bunch of stuff.
Some people may not know this, but if you are a nerd, Max Schaefer is one of the creators of Diablo 1 and 2, I believe. So you could get a soap that the creator of Diablo 1 and 2 made himself. So that's pretty cool if you're a nerd.
Yeah, absolutely. And Max Schaefer, he's a cool dude. He jumps into the lives over on Lather and Blade. He's an active member of the community. And yeah, dude, a video game designer. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah, he was a big wig at Blizzard, which is pretty awesome. Uppo is here. Good to see you.
Blizzard is actually located maybe about an hour from you.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. One of the other things I want to mention was just this week, Katie's Bubbles Chris had his 8th anniversary. So he's been doing it a while. So we say congratulations to Chris Cullen of Katie's Bubbles. 8 years in business. A lot of people came and went in that amount of time. So big congrats to Chris. That's pretty awesome, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Chris is a good dude. I was fortunate enough to meet him at the first Chicago meetup. And he's good people, man. I'm happy to see that they're still in business. They're still up and running. And I actually got a couple Katie's Bubble Soaps in the queue for
nice.
For the channel. So we'll be seeing that soon.
Nice. I wanted to mention that this evening, we don't have a lot of prepared topics. So we just wanted to make this mostly a Q&A. So please submit your questions and we'll get to them. We only have a few things scripted to talk about. And so we'll do most of the evening shooting the breeze, waxing poetic, just talking some mess. And so if you have questions, please ask and we'll try to get to them. I know a lot of times we don't, but tonight we will. So thank you very much. There is one thing I want to get to here because we're going to announce a giveaway tonight. And the giveaway is for the Tony Dillette. This is a 3D printed shaving bowl, and I used one. This one is not used, so the one for the giveaway will not be used. But I used this morning, and it works really well. It's got nice aggressive ridges in there. This holder actually works really well for your brush. So You don't have to lean your brush in the bowl getting lather all over the handle. It just rests right here. And these are made by Tony, again, Dillette. So in my video that goes live in the morning, there'll be the link to his Google form for this. I think it's $31 and something in the US. This takes about a full day to print on a 3D printer. It is really lightweight and it's pretty awesome. I really enjoyed using it. It reminds me sort of the Pereira bow. I don't know how you say that. You can tell me.
I've actually never seen the spelling myself, but it's something I probably got to look into.
But anyway, this one is lighter and it's really nice. So I had fun using it this morning. Of course, not this particular one. This is going to be up for giveaway. And the way that you can enter the giveaway for this, pay attention. For one, you can watch the video that I have coming up in the morning. It would have details on how to enter. But for those of you who know who the Dude of Shaving is, the Dude of Shaving, go to his latest video on YouTube. And it's the one where it's reviewing SoSharpDavid's Edge. And all you have to do to enter is hashtag sharp but tuggy. Hashtag sharp but tuggy, all one word. And probably on the next Real Talk, I'll put the randomizer up and draw a winner for this Tony Dillette 3D printed bow, which is cool. What I really like about this bow is it's really light. So sometimes when you have porcelain or some heavy glass, it gets a little cumbersome if you're going to hold it, and these, it just feels like nothing. And so it's really, really nice, lightweight. So again, check the video tomorrow if you want to. I'll have the details on that. I'll have Junior's video linked. Sharp but tuggy is what you want to hashtag, and that will be in my video airing in the morning. So check that out. And next, sharp but ugly. Next show, we'll probably draw for the winner for this or at some point. So I really like that bowl, by the way. And he has a bunch of different colors. I just wanted to make sure you know that the blue is just one particular color. He's got a ton. It's pretty cool. So I like to see.
That's a badass blue. I really like that blue.
I like to see just regular users, like regular shavers, making stuff and sort of, they're not really getting into the business, but they're just adding some value, in my opinion. And so I think it's pretty awesome. I like to see that sort of thing. I know there's some other guys making brush stands, like the gentleman that El Chingon knows. I can't think of his name, but he's making, I think he calls them the snail or something like slug or some kind of brush stand. It's pretty awesome.
I've seen the brush stand. I can't offhand remember the name that I did see, though. He is a San Diego area guy, Hispanic dude, so it's really nice to see.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So check out Tony Dillette. Again, in my video tomorrow, they'll have his information, his Google form. You can find him on Facebook, too. He's in Lather and Blade and probably other groups as well. Did you have something?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. So, since we...
I was like stretching out my jaw. I feel like tightness out here.
Marion said his reception is not very good. Oh, that's okay.
Because you live out in the fucking boonies.
He probably does. So speaking of sharp but tuggy, you watched the video. What did you make of that? That was one of the more interesting videos where he was like, "Oh, this is sharp, but it's tuggy." Sharp, like he was kind of going back and forth, and I thought it was very fun video to watch.
It was. It's entertaining. You could always count on Junior to say something either outrageous or goofy as shit, and this was a goofy as shit moment. I to this day I really don't know how he feels about my goddamn edge because he's so goddamn confusing in that video. So yeah, damn him. If people believe it's sharp, maybe I can open up my damn honing business. If they believe it's tuggy, he may have ruined me before I even started. So God knows what's going to be the fallout from that damn video, especially since your damn viewers love to hop on other people's videos and harass them with your fucking hashtags. Now a whole bunch of other people are going to see that shit.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, when I watched it, I just thought it was one of the best things I've ever seen. It was so funny because he was like, he was going along, then he was like, I'm getting some tugginess here. That's sharp. That is sharp. And he was like, but I'm getting some tugginess. And then somehow at the end he said, He did say he thought it was perfectly fine, but he had some irritation, and that's, he was going, I guess, gingerly in those areas, and so that was resulting in I don't really know, but I did enjoy it.
He tried to blame his lathering from the night before. I guess. Damn him. Curses.
Oh, it was fun. I really enjoyed it, and I hope people will watch. Again, it's one of those things where I caveated in the video that I did where I cut it up yesterday that there is some adult language. And I wanted to mention something because there was a gentleman that commented on my video yesterday. And he said, I like you, but SoSharpDavid, there's a lot of profanity. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of that. And my reply was, well, sir, I understand that profanity and so on is not for everyone, but, everyone is different. And diversity makes everything better. And we all don't come from the same places. We all don't always communicate publicly in the same way. And I said, I think that these differences make it interesting. And so people can find what they like. And he actually commented in return and said, you know what? You're right. I was far too judgmental. And I was really happy to see that because it's not too often today that you say something like that and somebody just simply says, you know what? You've made a point. Maybe I shouldn't be so quick to judge. And I thought that was really nice, and I thanked him for that. It's not something that you get very often these days. People just make judgments and they're done.
It's definitely an issue on the internet. It's very rare that disagreements get resolved online. It ends up just usually becoming a big pissy match. I'm really glad that you said the second reply because I was already ready to say some very awful things to that subscriber of yours because I know this video is going to go up there. I was going to say some horrible things. I would have even embarrassed myself with some of the awful things I was prepared to say right now. But no, that's great. I'm glad that he's possibly be a little open-minded. I understand that I'm a pretty rough kind of guy. I'm not going to be for everybody. But yeah, God bless you for putting these real talks on your channel because God knows I say some wild things.
What I also told him was, on the other hand, that, I try to keep it more PG, especially on the channel. And some people might find me bland comparatively. If you come from a different place and you're used to a more lively style with more, adult language, you might find it completely bland. And I said, there's something for everyone. And I try not to, if you're not doing anything to hurt somebody, you're not attacking people, you're not being vicious. I try not to be too judgmental. I think we're all judgmental in certain ways, but I try to be as accepting as I can. I don't always succeed, but I do make an effort to do it. But I was personally very happy that gentleman just was like, you know what, you've made a point. I was too quick to dive in there, and now I'm saying, good point. So I thought that was positive.
Yeah, I do struggle a little bit to understand when people object to my language. You don't have to like it because if it's something that you just don't like to hear, that's fine. But especially when people start using what if my children are watching this and that? First off, your children have no business watching your YouTube channel. Second, I shouldn't have any expectation of having to watch my mouth. My videos are not marked for kids, and I'm not reviewing Care Bears. I'm not reviewing trolls. I'm not showing you Bob the Builder videos. This is an adult hobby. There's not going to be very many 15-year-olds in our groups. I'm primarily making content for middle-aged to even older than that men. I think we should be able to speak freely amongst primarily men. That's just my feel on it. I could get if people don't like to hear it so often. Yeah. But some people, and not saying that particular guy had a real strong, opinion against it, but there has been people in the past that have been very offended by my language. I'm like, you just feel free not to watch, man. But this is a grown man hobby. Grow the fuck up.
Yeah, grown gent and ladies, for that matter, because don't forget the ladies.
All three of them?
Sally, for example, and Heather there.
Oh, that's right. Heather and Sally, yes.
So we Banaka rolls with it. I mean, she is Banaka. In there.
I love Banaka. Banaka is one of the boys. She don't care, man. She's cool, man. Banaka, she's a soldier. She
Look
rolls
at Sefferton there. He's like, hey, Sally. As soon as Sally shows up, Sefferton comes alive. Taylor is
The
already.
exclamation point and everything. He's all excited.
Let me see. Let's see if we have some questions here. We do.
Oh,
Okay.
there's a Julie now too.
So the first is a statement by Magic Mike. Tuggy. So I don't know what we say to that, but you know, I am very much amused by the sharp but tuggy edge. I think that should be your signature. That should be your signature, actually. As we were discussing the other day, so far, the people who hone professionally have not named their edges in the way that, say, brushes and other things get named. And I think some of the users, when I say user, I mean like computer users, and I'm shavers, let's say. I think the shavers had taken it upon themselves to start naming their edges. So we know Magic Mike has the magic edge. We know now yours is the sharp but tuggy edge. And we've got different edges rolling out now that are going to have names. And so we're basically doing the work for the vendors here because you know they're going to start naming their edges pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. And actually, I think it started a little bit sooner than that with Anthony Esposito. He never called it a stallion edge. But it's been some years for us that the rest of us that use his edge have called it a stallion edge. It wasn't, he never told us to. He never hoped for it. Well, maybe he hoped for it. Who knows? But, yeah, it's actually kind of started with Anthony Esposito and all of us just referring to it as the stallion edge.
I did go back and watch Magic Mike's video today where he used your edge, and it was plinking hairs off pretty good. So the SBT, sharp but tuggy, it was doing some work on Magic Mike's beard, so you could tell it was a good edge. It was taking it right off, and I don't think the hype man Magic Mike was just trying to put your edge over. It did look legit, and so I'd say congrats to you because if it runs through Magic Mike's, pretty wiry that hair, that you probably did a good job on that edge. So the SBT is legit. Sharp but tuggy.
It was pretty exciting to see that blade go through all that fucking Canadian growth. Those mountain men and the Great White North, they need those beards to protect their skin from all that crazy snow, and it really took care of the business.
I don't want you to repeat what you said when we were talking about what was going to happen if that edge, if the sharp and tuggy went through that beard. It was kind of dirty, to be honest.
Yeah, I really don't think you would post this video on your channel if I repeated what I said in private.
I do mark these as, adult, like profanity and so on. So, they're not expected to be Star Wars level G,
There is the occasion where I go overboard, and that may be one of those times where I went a little overboard. I can admit that.
Let's see what we have. And also, please submit your questions or comments below. And if you just want something discussed, pop them in and we'll put them up. So we have a few others here. Let's see. Okay. Well, here's one from Mel or Nate. I don't know who's operating the account. It says, show Nate. That razor off. So do you have it?
Oh, yes, I did. It came in the mail. It was actually, surprisingly enough, it was here when I got home, which is kind of rare nowadays. But I was able to get my hands, once again, on another Martinez razor, some unobtainium stuff. Mike Martinez was a razor maker, I believe, out of Texas, and I got this bad boy right here from him. Now, when I tell you that the pictures that I had showed you previously don't do this razor justice, it's an understatement even then, dude.
Hold on just 1 second, David. We have an emergency. Yeah. I think Nate said he was leaving. Nate wants people to watch his show for 12 hours, and he can't stay 18 minutes.
Oh, I believe me, I've been giving him shit about it all day. We watch literally 4 hours of his nonsense every other Thursday.
To be fair, I can't complain because his show is always airing after my beauty sleep time, so I never get to make his show hardly. So I can't complain, but you can. You can.
Oh, I'm there all the time getting shit from my wife because I'm watching them yell for 4 hours. But Taylor Alejandro, Mike Martinez stopped making razors probably 2 years ago now. Probably about 2 years ago. Had a family tragedy, and he stepped away from the business. I talked to him maybe about 6 months ago. There is a chance that he may come back in the future, but no timeline was given, and even then it wasn't a definitive thing at all. But just to check it out, it has these are These are black pearl scales.
Mm-hmm.
I compare it to, if you've ever seen a Lexus, it's a charcoal gray Lexus. It's like a charcoal gray with a pearl essence in it. This is it. It's gorgeous. And you see this big old Peacemaker V3. You can see the mirror polish on that thing.
That's nice.
And you can even
That's
see
definitely
our
nice.
reflection from the phone. It
I
has
like it.
the cleaver hole, which I love the cleaver hole. For those of you guys that don't know, I went to culinary school. I am a cook. And so it's just the cleaver hole, the meat cleaver hole just was really, really cool touch that I just fell in love with this. So when my boy Joe gave me an opportunity to get it, had to get my hands on it.
That's pretty nice. Joe has been kind to you.
Oh yes,
That
he
is
has, man.
nice.
Joe has taken good care of me, giving me opportunities to get some great razors, and I really appreciate it.
That's awesome. Let's see if we have anything fun here. Let's see. Can you smell that night music CDB? No, I don't want to. It's just, I don't even know what to say. I mean,
That
that
night
was rough.
music is the absolute worst scent I have ever smelled. I don't care
Now
what
you
anybody
realize
has
some
to say.
people do like it.
Yeah, and they're gross. That they eat
I
butt.
wouldn't say they're gross, but
They
yeah,
eat
that
butt. If you
was
like
not a good
that,
one
you
for
eat
me.
butt.
I just to be just to be clear, that's him saying it, not me. I'm saying I didn't
I said
like
it.
it.
Okay, I'll
This
put
is
extra
what
light.
we
Look at
this is what
me.
we
I
talk
said it.
about when we talk about diversity of opinion. It's just as important as diversity of everything else. You have diversity of opinion. Very important. See, Justin says night music is badass. He loves it.
Justin, you're
Not
gross.
me.
I just
Let's
can't,
see.
dude. I cannot, and I cannot wait to see when Junior does his video on that. He's already had it now for about a week. He has not smelled it yet. He is going to smell it for the very first time when he does his video.
Ooh, awesome. So Banaka asks, can your edge cut the copper wire hair? Like Junior, for example.
Well, well, Junior did say that the three chin hairs that he has in this vicinity right there were identical to copper wires. I'm sure he has a lot of experience with copper wire, and he said that they feel exactly like copper wire, and they cut it. It was a bit tuggy, but they did get through it. So thank God for that.
It was sharp but tuggy.
Hmm.
Let's see what else we have here. Just a second. Apologies. Andre says butt tuggy, so not sure what
That
that
says
means,
butt.
but
That says butt taggy. That's weird.
oh yeah. Well, butt tuggy too. That's good. No problem. By the way, keep them coming, people, because otherwise we won't have anything to do. Let's
Oh well,
see.
Chris. This don't pull up any questions after this one because actually
All
there's
right.
a subject I did want
Let's
to talk
get to
about.
Sefferton, the great Sefferton of Sefferton Shaves on YouTube. How many shaves before you felt comfortable with a straight? You go first.
Well, for me, it's actually not really a fair question. My first straight razor shave, I felt absolutely comfortable from the get go. Reason I had been
This is the point where David gets a phone call and it ruins the audio, usually.
no, and guess what asshole it was? It was fucking Junior. That son of a bitch. Um, but
He is a jerk.
what a fucking he knows what he's doing too. Um,
Yeah, he does it on purpose.
so I was actually doing. I was a hobbyist barber. I was doing barbering just for fun on the side. So I was shaving people for years, probably a couple years before I even started shaving myself. So once I actually put the razor to myself, it felt very natural. So I was pretty comfortable right away. But it was years of me shaving other people that got me prepared for that moment.
Yeah, Junior's supposed to be on a social media sabbatical, but I have a feeling that he's not really on a social media sabbatical at this moment.
Look at this fucking asshole. He just hopped in right now. Junior, you're a dick.
Junior, the creator of the Sharp but Tuggy, or
So Chris, how
the
about
one who
yourself,
named
man?
the edge.
When were you comfortable with that?
I would say 30 something. It's when it felt just there's initial reluctance because you just it just doesn't feel right early on. And then after a while, it just begins to feel non-threatening. And from that point, you can relax. I think that's the problem in the beginning is since it's an open blade and you're so worried about cutting yourself that you tense up and it actually makes it a lot more difficult than it really is. And that just sort of, as time goes on, it becomes easier because you don't have that, you're not so tense and just jittery and everything else. And so you just have to keep plugging. And I would recommend that you put as many consecutive ones as you can back to back. And that helps a lot, just doing it regularly, developing muscle memory. That's what I would say. So Junior says he's listening. It'd be the first time he ever listened. Let's see.
Dude, goddamn you, Junior.
Oh, you said you had something. You had a topic. What was it? I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. So a couple days ago, one of our fellow YouTubers, Ken, Shave326, he had what I would consider an absolute brush catastrophe.
Yeah.
When he had a hand-tied knot, start using chunks. Is the picture flashing weird on your on?
Yeah, it looked like you were in Technicolor or something. Like, I don't know.
It's happening to me too. Hey, let me exit out and bring me back in right now, Chris.
Okay, I'll bring you back. So, David, after Junior messing it up, having technical difficulties, let me bring him back in. Just a moment. Talk amongst yourselves until I have a chance to bring him back in. Let's see. Where is he? I don't see him. Might take him just a minute. I apologize. By the way, what are you all drinking tonight? For me, it's Guinness. Guinness. Yeah, that was pretty trippy. That was pretty trippy what was going on there with David. I don't know what that was. That was quite interesting. So now I have put him back in. It's connecting. There we go. I'm not seeing that psychedelic flashing now.
Okay.
So continue on. I'm sorry. Hey, Brian Lynch. Hadn't seen you for a while.
So, the brush failure that we had with Ken, and obviously he didn't make the knot himself. But he did get the hand-tied knot from Strike Gold Shave. This is probably, I think, the third brush now that I have seen have issues. Now, Frank has been fantastic with replacing the knots that have gone awry. But at one point, do we feel that maybe he rushed things to the market and that maybe the product shouldn't have been released?
I don't know, because I have one that he sent and it's dropped 2 hairs, I think, maybe 3. I use it today. That video will go up tomorrow. And so I don't know enough about brushes to know, the nuances of that sort of thing. Brushes really aren't my forte. I don't know out of how many brushes he's put out, but I would say that if you're a vendor who you're backing your work like he is, and he's saying, I'll give you a refund, I'll re-knot your brush, really no loss there if you're offering to make it right. I always respect that if somebody offers to make it right. But I would definitely agree that if it continues to happen, he's probably going to have to investigate whatever the cause might be, because I honestly don't know enough about the way these hand-tied knots are glued. And most people don't, because they will not talk about the glue that they use. They don't share that information. I don't know enough to know, really, to be honest with you.
Do you think that releasing some beta tester knots would have helped the situation, or maybe with some experimenting in terms of the gluing?
I would assume so, but I just don't know how many he sent out, if any. I know he sent one to me to try. I don't know if he sent them to anybody else. So I really don't know. But generally speaking, I would recommend that would be a very good process to put them in some different people's hands, and don't put them only in the hands of absolute enthusiasts. Put them in the hands of a little bit of everybody, and because you don't know what people are going to do with knots. So you, for example, you're a big time badger guy, you treat your brushes a certain way, you might have less trouble than somebody who uses synthetics and maybe they're mashing them down, or I would just sort of put them in some put them in the hands of folks who are very experienced, and then maybe some novices, just to see if the results are different. I don't know. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just really good because I've always been a real big proponent of people using beta testers, whether it be soap makers, razor makers, and just this is a luxury item, $150, or I don't even know what exactly his price is.
100, a little over 100, I want to say. Ray Kennedy just said, "Can a brush be sharp and tuggy?" I don't know. It's possible.
I think it can be, especially in the earlier days of Badger, back in that
that's true.
That 2012, 2011. Those things were sharp and tuggy, bro. Get yourself a nice black Badger, and those things were harsh.
Yeah, they certainly can. Let me see if anybody. All right, remember, keep your comments coming. Let's see. Sharp. Magic Mike just says sharp, so I don't know.
Magic Mike, I love you, but you are bringing absolutely nothing to this discussion today.
Well, it's the best one I've seen today, but Ken says, what hurts an artisan's business more? Complaining scent strength is too weak, or Frank Burton complaining? I don't know. I absolutely don't know the answer to that question. I really don't know. Because I tend not to see, traditionally, I haven't seen as many people complaining about the burning as scents being low. As you remember, probably 5-6 years ago, you would have soaps and everybody would be complaining about low scent strength. But I don't know which one of those is more important or could do more damage to the business. I have no idea.
I think ugly packaging does more damage than low scent or scent burning.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, like I said before, if you use something and you have a problem with it, I just wouldn't use it. And it would be the same thing if I bought several brushes and I had issues with them or they weren't to my liking, I just simply wouldn't buy them. So I sort of vote with my dollar. And if more people do that, these problems will resolve themselves, or the people won't be in business. It's a pretty, easy thing to resolve when things aren't to your liking. Let's see. Who does the best week? What? I don't know if I understand that one.
I have no idea what. Oh yeah, I see it.
Who does the best week? We. I don't know what that means.
Holy hell! Did Jared have a stroke when he was writing that out?
We need to check on Jared. There we go.
Jared, if you were in here.
Who does the best set shaver impersonation? CDB, Peter of Stallion, or Banaka of JR? Banaka of JR.
Oh yeah, Banaka and JR, they seem to have a certain synergy. They just work well. When Banaka does some JR stuff, it's gold. That's some of the best stuff you can watch on the YouTube.
I hope she does more of it. I do, because that's pretty good stuff.
Funny.
But we'll have to have him actually make some videos for her to do that, though. That would be the thing. Let's see.
No, who knows?
If you became a soap maker, what would be the first soap scent you'd release? Oof. That's a great question. That's a very good question. I don't know about that one. That is really tough. I think for me, it would be, I would never make any dark scents of any kind. There would never be mildew. There would never be any dank anything. But I don't know what the first would be. It would naturally be something I like a lot. Maybe an old cologne that you can't get anymore. It would not be Aventus, as much as I love Aventus. It's just, that's been well covered. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, dude, I actually have thought about this quite a bit. And it'd be one of two directions. I would either go with a custom blend of like sandalwoods and some other light woody scents, because I love sandalwood. Sandalwood is my favorite, real like bass note in the community. I love sandalwood. Or I would release a scent that you can't get no more. 1X. 1X was based on it. That blue Mediterranean, I believe.
Stay tuned for that one. Just stay tuned.
So
I
I
can't
really,
talk about
really,
it, but stay tuned.
okay, well, I really do love that scent. And since you can't get it from Razor Rock anymore, it'd be one of those two things.
You shall have it, but stay tuned. Let's see. Taylor asks, what's your favorite shave brush handle style? For me, it is, I did not think I would ever be this way, but I have kind of like the Rubber Step 400 style handles, which are a little bit longer. I've just taken to really liking those. I probably have maybe 4 or 5 of those. I don't know. I really like it. But looks wise, for me, the best looking one is that Paladin Samurai. Like that thing is just gorgeous. I would love to have one, but I'm unwilling to pay what they charge for. I'm just not going to do it.
Stop
Your
being a
favorite?
cheap ass, Chris. My favorite style is a classic style, made really popular by I want to say Simpson. It's their S6 or S7 style brush.
Mm-hmm.
I really like. I have a couple variations of it that vary in proportions, but I like that S6 or S7 style, or is it M7? But yeah,
It might be.
those M7. I have it right here. This style handle.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, in varying proportions, and so some are smaller here, some are more bulbous down here. But I really, really enjoy this style. It's just been my favorite forever, and still is today.
Yeah, that Samurai, I think John Shea has one that's just out of this world, and the colors on it are just incredible. If you've seen that brush, that Samurai he has, it's just incredible. But honestly, I can't bring myself to pay that kind of money. I just can't do it.
See, M7 there. Yeah, you know what? I think the S7. I think that was what Brad Sears used to use because if you do someone, and I think he called it the S. So M7. Thank you, Tim Shaves. I appreciate it. It's the M6 or M7 handles. They're larger and smaller, so I know they have both.
So Jared asked how many Aventus dupes are too many. The answer to that is when they stop selling. That's when you will know. And they might be reaching that point. I don't know. And it really, everything comes down to that. If people have problems, if people don't like it, they will not buy it. You will not see it around. They will pull it. And so that's almost the answer to every problem as it applies to these sort of consumer things. People don't buy it, you won't see it.
I love them. Keep them coming. Eventually, people will get burned out from it. I do
They
love
do
it
smell
though.
great. I mean, I know people don't like it because it's so common now, but it still is a great scent. It's just fantastic. Brian's got a big beard there in his picture. Let's see. Tuggy.
Jesus, Magic Mike.
It makes me wonder if Junior has kidnapped Magic Mike or taken control of his phone. Let's see. See, now this is why we love Up for a Shave Day. Up for a Shave Day. He don't be giving no one no mess. He just wishes people a blessed day. He wants people to enjoy their shaves. You can't top that. You can't top
Dude.
that.
50 Shades of Dave, baby. I love Aftershave Dave, man. He's awesome.
I watch those videos and I'm just sitting back and he's like, just enjoy your shave. Just enjoy your experience. Be positive. And I just feel good after watching Up for a Shave Day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, PAA is a great label. Yes, that is true. Nathan
What
Clark
PA
is down
is
there
great?
too.
I was asking what PA
That's
is
Aventus.
great.
Aventus. Nathan Clark is down there lurking around. I didn't notice that earlier, so we're going to have to be careful. Let's see.
Has Nathan Clark made any brushes in the last 10 years? I don't know what the hell he's been.
Yes, he has. But it's been a while since we've, bought them, but he does make them still. Because remember, he was in the group like a week ago or two, and he was actually dropping some knowledge on us. So Nathan Clark was sharing information with regular folk. That was really nice. So Junior says he's not sending your stone because he's on lockdown.
Oh, son of a bitch. I forgot all about that.
I think that's just an excuse because he doesn't want to go to the post office.
Fuck, dude. Oh, son of a bitch. I was really looking forward to using that new stone. I had ordered a Suhiro 15K stone. And yeah, now I'm never going to see that son of a bitch.
You know what you can do? You can send him something and print out the label with whatever you're sending him, and that way he can just pop it in and send it back. He doesn't have to go to the post office.
Well, he could also fucking print it at home, the fucking lazy bitch, but
He
he's not
did,
doing
well,
that.
I already tried to coach him up on that, and he said no. He doesn't like to mail anything, and I don't think he has a printer at the house. So, if you send him the label, maybe he'll pop it in the mail for you.
Maybe.
Let's see.
But what if he has the Rona then? Then I have this fucking infected ass box in my house.
Do I stare at my awesome sauce pick and get aroused? No, I do not. But that's a great question. I do appreciate that one, Shady.
Just so you know, Shady, I stare at the awesome sauce pic and get aroused. So there's that.
Edit that out when we play it back. Edit that one out. Let's see. Hello,
Oh shit,
Carlitos.
Carlitos actually
Been a
popped
while
in.
since we've seen Carlitos.
I haven't seen him at all.
Daily Carry Solutions. What razor do you like that's commonly overlooked in the market? Straight, SE, or DE? For me, I'm going to pick an SE. The Hawk version 3, you don't really see it a lot. It is not expensive. It's like $70, and it's really good. That Hawk version 3 is a sleeper, really good for the money razor. Up to you, David.
For me, I'm going to go with a straight razor. Not any, I shouldn't say anything, but Japanese, the whole genre of Japanese razors, they're made great. Their grinds are even and really thin, and they're available for super cheap. If the American razors are starting to go up on price, the vintage English razors are super expensive, and so are the vintage German. If you look at some Japanese razors that are pretty good condition, man, you're gonna get a great deal. Spend $30 to $60. You're gonna have a hell of a razor.
I need to get one, and I'd like to have a frame back as well. Need to get a good Japanese frame back. That would be pretty
I love
awesome.
frame backs. I really, really do love frame backs. I was this close
Taylor,
to pulling the. What's that?
Taylor said Feather ASD too.
Oh,
Kick
dude,
him out
I
of the
don't like
chat.
that.
Kick him out
I
of the
don't
chat.
like. I don't like that razor at all, dude. It's too mild. It's a good looking razor.
It is.
It's a well done razor.
Well
But
built.
their geometry is it's too mild the way they built that head.
I think people used to come in to the hobby like 8 years ago, and that would be one of the first high-end razors that you would target. Because back then we didn't have these artisanal, other than above the tie, you didn't really have artisanal safety razors. And so that Feather ASD2 was like the best looking stainless steel razor that you could get. And people would get that, and then they're just like, oh man, I like the way it looks, but it's just not a great shaver. And I fell victim to that myself. I just didn't care for it. However, there are many people that really like it. And so if you want a mild shave, I'm sure it's good for that, but it wasn't for me. Hey, John, good to see you. Let's see if we have any. Remember, submit your questions if you have them, because I don't think we have anything outstanding. So it's wide open for your questions. Let's see who's here. Well, there are one just coming in. Thank you. Let's see. That's Junior. He likes the El Fantasma. I didn't have any problem with the El Fantasma. I thought it worked well for me. I don't know how many people bought that razor, but it worked well for me. Did you try that, David? I can't recall.
Yeah, I do have the El Phantasma. It's a nice shaver. I enjoy slant razors when they're done a certain way, like the Merkur slant. It's a little too awkward for me, but this one, the El Phantasma, was done very well. I do prefer the original Bakelite slant that PAA released that was based on the less extreme slant done by Fasan. I thought that one was a bit better in terms of, I don't know, it was just maybe easier to use. It shaved really well, and I just preferred it.
Let's see.
Did you see that they have a blue color one coming out?
I just saw that. Yeah, it's a good looking one. What unobtainium would you like re-released? Oof. For me, I can tell you right now, it would be, oh man, the Italian mango oil. Who makes that one?
I Coloniali.
Coloniale, yeah, mango oil. That is without a doubt the one that I would choose.
I
That's
have
a terrific soap.
I have 2.5 pucks left of it. I hoarded some once I heard that it was going out. I wish I could find some more. For me, I would love to see Tim Soaps come back. I miss Tim Soaps. I love Tim Soaps. His Wooden Roses was the very best rose, uh, well, the very best scent with rose integrated into it that I've ever smelled, and I just miss it so much, dude.
That's
I
like
wish I could
saying the
find it.
best junior video.
Well, there's no such thing as that. The best, the best of the worst.
Oh yeah, the Icoloniale is terrific. I love that. Let's see. Uh,
Icoloniale is great, dude. Icoloniale is one of the best mass-produced soaps that there was. I like it better than Mitchell's Wolf Fat, and I
yeah,
may
I
even
like
like
it
the
better than Mitchell's.
performance better than Tobacco.
So when are you getting into JMATs? Magic Mike asks.
Oh man, so Magic Mike has got really inspired me to get a JNat, dude. He bought this big ass chunk of rock, Nakayama finishing stone, and
Reed
god
says
damn it,
Tiki.
Tiki. Yeah, Tiki's good.
Yeah,
Amanda went off the deep end a little bit towards the end there. I don't know what exactly happened, but I like Tiki. I didn't have a problem with it.
yeah, I did too.
But dude, I imagine that very early in the new year, I'll be getting a JNat. Something I would hope to spend under $300. But we'll see once that time comes, because who knows? These things could get out of hand real quick.
Keep them coming, by the way, folks. What's a good finishing stone to help me maintain my edges? Boy, that's such a loaded question. I would say for me, if you're on a budget, you can go to, and really it's all about cost for me. If you're on a budget, you can go to, I can't think of the name, the guy's name, Keith Johnson on
Tomo
Etsy.
Nagura.
He sells cauticles, and you can get like a Shobodani relatively cheap relative to like an Izuku for, 100 and under 200. Both are very good finishers. But it starts to get very expensive after that. Also, a lot of people like the Arkansas stone, which is not very expensive too. But I would probably get one of those cauticles or Shobodani personally. A lot of people use the Nanois 12K too. I have not done that personally, so I can't speak to it.
SharpeningsSupplies.com has Arkansas stones that start as low as $30, which that's definitely a real nice place to start. Also, they have smaller cauticles that start, I believe, at 40. Uh, and they also do, I believe, carry the Naniwa 12K as well. I think any one of those, depending on beard type, would be good. If you're somebody that has medium to light beard growth, that caudicle should be more than enough. And I love the caudicle edge. It's super comfortable. It's a fun stone to use.
So Taylor asked, "What's your travel setup?" Well, that's funny because I'm getting ready to travel tomorrow, and I put like 7 soaps in there and like 5 aftershaves. I don't have a setup per se. I threw a couple of razors in, including this one here, which is the timeless razor I've been using the past couple of days. I don't really have a travel setup. I do take Barbus with me just for the heck of it, but I don't have a setup. Do you?
I don't have one. I've actually only traveled once since I've been in the shave community when I went to Chicago and I bought some shit there. So I really don't. I don't travel. So I never have a need for a travel setup.
No need for a travel setup. Let's see what else we have. Better scent, night music or Arco? Easily
Arco,
Arco by
Arco.
a million times better, easily with no question. I
Yeah,
don't really
dude.
have a problem with Arco. I know some people don't like it. To me, it just smells like lemon pledge. Lemon pledge is not offensive to me at all. It's not the greatest scent, but to me, clean scents, or even like cleaner, is not offensive. And so, you spray lemon pledge, it doesn't smell terrible. I don't think.
But night music smells like butthole, and that's offensive.
Night music is not good. We agree on that. I mean, at least from our perspective. How do you hide the mini soaps from your significant other? I don't. We don't. I have a shelf. That I wouldn't advise that anybody hide things from their significant other. Oftentimes, I'll ask my wife to smell them. Sometimes she likes them, sometimes she doesn't. Especially when I'm unsure and I want to get a second opinion, I'll ask. And usually we're on the same page, but not always. But I wouldn't hide. I don't advise it. That's going to lead to a blow up.
Yeah, I've never hidden it either. Rocio doesn't trip. She knows what I'm doing. She knows that I have the YouTube channel that I keep products coming in primarily for that. She doesn't have an issue with it. There's a whole lot worse things I could be spending money on.
That's true. Let's see what else we have. Whoops, sorry about that. Forget that one. We already took care of that one. Here we go. What are some of your favorite holiday scents? Tim Shaves asked. Wow. That's a good one because I don't really have a lot of holiday scents that I really enjoy. Although I will say this year's Halloween offerings were much better than years past because they used to have the dank mildew dark scents, and this year there were some bright ones like Talos Cream, and I don't even know what they released. The Razor Ruby, Undead. I don't really have a favorite. Do you?
I actually really don't like the seasonal holiday scents. At least if you stick to like what people believe they should smell like that Halloween scent should be pumpkin and dirt and shit like that. I hate that stuff. And then I'm also not a big gourmand fan. So when you start getting like the cranberries and cornbread type stuff for Christmas or whatever the case may be, the frankincense and myrrh, I don't like those types of scents. I avoid them if possible. I do like the direction that the Halloween scents went this year with Talos Scream and Graveyard from A&E. Those were not dirty or stereotypical scents that you smell during the holidays.
Right.
So I really did enjoy those.
Staggering Jack was pretty good. I used that one. I sent along. I did like that one. Let's see, just a second. What do you
See, the
smell?
Staggering Jack, I would like this in a candle, but I just don't like these type of scents on my skin.
Oh,
It
do you
makes
have
me feel,
Staggering Jack?
yeah, it'd be a fantastic candle. I just don't like these type of scents. I bought it because Junior really wanted me to, so I just said, okay.
So Shady wants to know about today, the status on today's TDR brush enabling. Marion was successful. Marion is a hell of an enabler. Marion is a hell of an enabler. He doesn't get the credit he deserves, honestly. He's a heck of an enabler.
I seen that brush and I'm like, there's no way that brush is gonna be too much backbone. Like it looked like it was set high enough.
I didn't mind
But
it.
it didn't make sense to me. Marion's crazy.
Balm or splash? Alcohol or alcohol free? That's easy for me. Splash alcohol all the time.
Splash alcohol, baby. I hate balm. Balm makes me feel greasy and heavy and gross. And alcohol free, that doesn't even make sense to
I
me.
will say there's two balms that I have tried personally that I did not mind. Sorry about that. One of them was Soap Commander, and the other one was, in one of the orders, I got a travel size like Zingari, and that one did not leave me feeling oily. Like it does its job, but it did not leave me feeling oily. And so I like that. I generally don't use balms, but anything that has a heavy oily, I usually don't like it. It's not good for me, but those two I like and would recommend. Let's see. Would you fellas rather have a rare restored vintage brush or a custom artisan brush? Whew. If it were a really nice old school brush, I would be very much open to that. But on the other hand, if I had a Milton Samurai, I'd probably take the Milton Samurai, to be honest with you, because I just like that style. But I wouldn't mind a vintage restoration by any stretch. I like the classic look.
Yeah, in my collection, I do have a nice blend of vintage and custom brushes. If I had a choice, it'd probably be a custom artisan brush, but in a classic shape, similar
Would you
to
show
something
your
like that.
favorite for Junior?
Oh, I don't actually have it around here. Where the fuck is it?
Oh, so we know it's not your favorite after all.
It's somewhere around here.
Let me get to another question before. Ooh, Junior, if he has the Rona, can you imagine if he saw that brush?
Oh, dude.
Art asks, did the wife smell night music? Yes, and she did not like it. Now, keep in mind, when I present a soap to my wife, I'll take the cap off. I don't show the cap, and I'll just do this. And she just smells it. She has no idea what it is, what it's supposed to be. And when I put night music up, it was just not a good look. So no, she did not like it. What about Rocio?
Rocio, she said she didn't particularly like it, but she didn't hate it. She was just very about it. She's not a huge fan of darker scents. She likes the bright citrusy scents, but she's usually not offended by those dirty scents. She's just not a big fan of them.
So Langley City Shave, the maker of those fine brushes, and I've seen a couple of those towels, which look pretty awesome. Do you guys find yourselves getting into high-end colognes? No, I don't have enough scratch to pursue that. I just don't. Can't do it. I like the scents, but I just can't go down that rabbit hole. But
yeah, I could imagine.
I do like them.
I would imagine myself probably getting into fragrances if I had a job where I was a little bit more dressed up and stuff. But I'm dealing with dirt. I'm dealing with stinky kids. It doesn't really fit my day-to-day life. Like I like to keep one or two colognes on hand to spray on for like date nights or on the weekends and stuff. But it's not something I could really find myself getting into because I just don't use them.
Let's see.
Lord Shady wants to get divorced.
Don't do it, Lord Shady. Asking as someone who wasn't around for it, what's the Floyd Blue hype? The Floyd Blue hype is just simply something that was around, that was revered. It is just a blue powdery scent that honestly, there are other scents that Razor Rock has one that's called Blue Barbershop. It's a very light looking blue. It's not that one, but it is just as good as Floyd, in my opinion. And the one David has is very reminiscent of Floyd. It's not a dead ringer, but I never thought Floyd Blue was that great. I think Floyd Black is superb and excellent. But blue, it's just a blue powdery scent that to me wasn't remarkable. There are other blue scents that are similar to it, in my opinion.
I think a lot of it had to do with the presentation. It was a big glass bottle. It looked kind of cool to have around. A lot of people like blue. It's just simple. I think the presentation, the look of it, had a lot to do with the popularity of it, and then it only blew up more when people found out that it wasn't being produced anymore. It kind of added to the whole mystique of it all.
I would say don't sleep on the Razor Rock Blue Barbershop. It's kind of got a vintage looking picture on it. It's, in my opinion, a better blue scent than the original. How amazing is J.R. Reyes at restoring those vintage brushes? Very good. Very good indeed, whether it be restoration or just dropping a knot in. Very good indeed. That's an excellent question from Sefferton Shaves. I wonder if Sefferton has actually made his first straight razor shave yet. Does anybody have
He did do his first straight razor shave. Had a lot of success on the cheeks and stuff. Got a little rougher on the neck.
G.I. Joe scar yet?
No. He actually didn't cut him. He has some nicks down here because he was actually doing some crazy shit. He actually tried to do across the grain with the straight razor.
Uh-oh, did we lose? We got a little buffering. Comment below if you're still there because it looks like we might have. There we go. You're good.
Oh, yeah. I'm here. So, Seth had a little bit of rough time with his neck, but he did complete his first straight razor shave, and I think it's going to be good. Me and Nate were talking to him today, advising him on some stuff, and I think he's going to be pretty solid. But back to that J.R. Reyes thing real quick. Not only J.R. Reyes is really good at restoring brushes, but one thing that's really big for me is doing business with good people. J.R. Reyes cares about the community. He loves the shave community. He is a real shave nerd, and he just takes care of his customers, man. He's just fucking solid. You can't get a more solid dude than him.
No, you'll have a hard time finding something negative said about JR, that's for sure. Let's see if we have anything else here. Oh yeah, we have a few more here.
Julie. Oh, go ahead.
Best Fougere soap. For me, the best Fougere scent, there's two. I have two. Martin DeCondre and Barrister Man Fougere Angelique, not the other one, Angelique, the more citrus one. Those are my two favorite.
I really enjoy the Fougere scent that actually Ken Shave 326 used from Saponificio Veracino. I cannot remember what the name
Felce
of it is.
Aromatica.
That
That's a
probably
good
that
one.
one.
That's a
I
very good one.
really enjoyed that Fougere personally.
I knew Magic Mike was going to come in here with his Fougere Gothic mess. Every time you turn around, Magic Mike is with the Fougere Gothic. He's relentless, but that's what he likes. Did your SO like night music? I don't know what that means. Oh, significant other. No, absolutely not.
One of the people in the audience asked, Julie, I believe it was. She asked if our wives use our shave soaps.
No, mine does not generally.
Mine
Has
does,
on
not all
occasion,
the
but not.
time. My wife more is a devoted safety razor user. She uses the soaps when she has a chance, but most of the time it's a DE razor and whatever bar soap she has in the shower with it.
Have you ever gave your partner a shaving soap for Christmas? No, I have not. I've given other people, but not my wife.
Yeah, same. I've given other people shave gear, even the kids, but never Rosie.
Banaka asks, what came first, Tuggy then Sharp or Sharp then Tuggy? I think the order of events was Sharp AF, then Tuggy. Then it went to Sharp, then Tuggy. Then it was Good Edge, Tuggy. It kind of, went back and forth. It was a very roller coaster sort of experience, and I hope everybody will go check out that video. And remember, if you want to be in the giveaway, you got to have that beautiful hashtag, Sharp but Tuggy, on the Dude of Shavings video. Don't forget that. And you can win the Tony Dillette bowl, which is pretty awesome. Let's see what else we have.
All right, we are at the hour mark. Chris.
That's all right. We can finish up with the questions and our picks. I'm getting into straights. How often do you touch up on finishing stones? And that is a very, it really depends from shaver to shaver, and it also depends on how you strop and how you shave. I've heard of people getting 60 or more shaves on a single edge. And so I think it just depends. On the razors that I've honed, I haven't used them enough to need to retouch them, but what are your feelings, David?
You got to go by feel. Everybody's hair growth is going to be different. The moment you start feeling some tugginess, you could either go onto a strop with some chromium oxide spray or crayon, or hit up a 12K or one of the finishing stones that we talked about earlier to give a touch up. But yeah, you got to go by feel. The moment it starts pulling, get it on a stone.
What other type of videos do you watch besides shaving? For me, I don't really watch anything else at the current time. Like if I'm interested in something like a piece of tech, new phone or something, I'll watch something relating to that, but I don't have time really to watch anything else.
For me, it's a lot of sports. I watch a whole lot of sports.
On YouTube?
Oh, yeah. Highlights, analysis, clips of different sports shows that are on major networks. So yeah, I'm a sports fanatic.
He's asking about Raiders Sunday.
Man, I love the Raiders. I don't feel good about this Sunday. We did beat the Chiefs already once this year. It's really tough to beat the best team in the league twice in the same season. And I think 8 of our starters on defense have missed all week of practice because they have contact tracing for COVID-19. So there is a chance that all of them will play. But being a football coach, I know if you miss a week of practice, you're very unprepared for the game, no matter how much film you watch.
Now, Daily Carry Solutions was asking, he mentioned Joe Rogan Podcast. I'm definitely in on that Joe Rogan Podcast. I do listen to the Joe Rogan Podcast. I
listen to some of it. It's just so long, dude. It's so long that I can't get through a whole episode, but I do watch bits and pieces.
If they have an interesting guest, I'm in. And I'll just listen to it over time, like as I'm driving or something. Let's see.
I hope the Raiders got it, man. But just again, knowing what I know about football and my experiences in coaching, you got kids that are missing all week of practice. I know they got other stuff on their plate, man. But damn, dude, it is rough to be missing a whole week of practice and to
All right.
really be the best you can be.
All right, it says if you're giving shaving gear away, give it to me. Nice plug for that. Oh, here we go. Junior. Where the drama at?
There's no drama, bro, because you haven't been
baby.
around. You ain't
That's
starting
right.
nothing. You too scared. You too scared to get into any real drama, dog.
No drama, baby. It's been pretty quiet, which is good. I like that. Andre asked, what's your favorite finishing stone? Mine is the Izuku, which is a Japanese natural stone.
I have two stones that people. No, I have three. The ILR, the 12K, 91, and I have the caudicle. The caudicle is my favorite. It's really fun to use. I like the feel of the razor on the stone, and I've been loving the edges that I'm getting off of it.
Does your significant ever buy you shaving gear for gifts, and how successfully? Yes, successfully.
Rocio has in the past. She hasn't in years. She actually went behind my back one time and actually contacted Anthony Esposito, and he actually helped her jump in line for a mongoose single edge razor back in the day. Oh
nice.
yeah, so that was a great gift. That was probably the last gift she bought me shaving related, but it was
awesome.
really cool how she pulled some strings on the back end and Anthony helped her get that for me. So it was really special, really cool, man.
What company would you say has the best overall aftershave? Whew, that's tough. That's tough because it really depends on what you want out of an aftershave. And for me, I just want a nice scent, a little bit of alcohol. I don't want a lot of oil and skin elixirs because I don't like that. If you want that sort of thing, there's all sorts of great options, but I don't use those types. So for me, it's alcohol based. And so I tend to go for like PAA, Sterling, and things like that. I'm not very finicky when it comes to that, but David, your choices.
My favorite aftershaves have always been this Aftershaves by Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. I like their performance. They're not overly hydrating or any of that stuff. They gave me a nice alcohol burn while still making my skin finish up nice.
That's good. Yeah, we're in agreement on that. What do you prefer between the ILR and 12K?
I do prefer the ILR. You'll get a lot of honing snobs that say that the ILR does not work. It absolutely does work. Is it going to compare to some $300 JNAT? Hell no, it's not going to. But I have been getting very nice, smooth, comfortable results with the ILR.
Jared has been doing it this evening on the on the questions. By the way, Jared is from the Thirsty Badger. So if you're in Canada or North America or really anywhere, check that website out, Thirsty Badger, excuse me. When are we getting a So Sharp David Sharp but Tuggy t-shirt? I'm in. I'm in too. I'll say that right now. I'm in.
If enough people send me DMs saying they want a Sharp but Tuggy shirt, we'll do a run. When I do a run of t-shirts, I need to order at least 20. So if we get enough people that want a Sharp but Tuggy t-shirt, I'll do a run of it, baby. We'll make it happen.
Totally. I'm all over that one. Let's see if we have anything else before we get to our picks here. Just things we've enjoyed using. Here's another one. What were the biggest hype products back in the day? Ooh, that's a good question, Tim. That's a great question. The Mongoose had a lot of hype. Remember when it came out? But the biggest hype product, Martin DeCandre. Remember X-Spec? You don't see X-Spec being used anywhere now. Like it's completely.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really interesting question. I remember a lot of hype. Go ahead.
For me, with Mitchell's Wolfat, everybody really claimed that Mitchell's Wolfat was the absolutely be all end all for post shave feel, and now it seems like every artisan has kind of passed them up.
Yeah, they've certainly caught up. But I don't mind Mitchell's Wolfat. I still use it. And
I still like it, but I just don't feel that it compares to what's out now. In my opinion, I still like it. It doesn't make it a bad product. It's just I think shit's better now.
So let's get into a few things that we really enjoyed since the last show. And one of them, and I couldn't be happier to have enjoyed it, which was, again, this was Marion the Barbarian striking, was a Noble Otter Firefighter. And it's difficult for me with Noble Otter because I took like 6 flyers and I hit only one time, and I was like, I can't buy Noble Otter anymore without a sample. And this one just smells great. And their labels, not only are they well designed, but they're perfectly applied on the tubs. Side labels perfectly straight, no bubbles. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but they do it better than just about everybody else. And this one is a very good scent. And I think, I can't recall the charity, but I'm sure it had something to do with firefighters raising money. So I really like this one. And also, I got to mention Heritage Hill. And the reason why is their products are very reasonably priced. And I have really enjoyed them because they have the same cost per ounce, whether you get a small pour or a large pour. And they've just been really good stewards. They reached out to me once they heard some of the things that were going on in my family, offered to do things. And I just really appreciated that for a vendor who I don't know very well to reach out and just be kind and offer words of kindness and offer to help. I want to thank the folks at Heritage Hill. It really means a lot, and I really appreciate you folks there and your kind words and offer for help. I really do appreciate that, so thank you. My last one, Timeless, just sent, and I've had this case for a long time, this Timeless razor case, but they just sent this, the plate, their slimline plate, and I have used this the past 2 days. The other one I have is the open comb, and this is really nice. It's slim, hence the name Slim, very well designed, laser etched. And so people are going to be getting these soon. I think they already sold out. They're going to have some more soon. And so you'll be seeing these, a lot of probably YouTube videos coming up, but it is a very nice design, much slimmer than the old. And I really enjoyed it. Up to you, David.
So I just got one product that really just blew my mind this past week, and that's the Barbershop de los Muertos. This is Murphy and McNeil's collaboration with Chicano Designs and John Perry, and this is in their Kodiak base. This base totally blew my mind. I love the base. I love the scent. Skyrocketed up my list of favorite scents. This just, again, the artwork is fantastic. Everything about this soap I love. I can't complain about a single damn thing. The only complaint I have is it's a damn shame that not everybody could get this Kodiak base for this scent. It is fantastic.
That is an excellent scent. In fact, I'm going to take it with me for traveling to use it again. And I usually don't use stuff over a lot within a short period, but I'm taking some stuff that I like in addition to a few other things. And that one I just had to grab for because that really has a beautiful scent. And it will be available again soon if it's not already. So you didn't miss out. It wasn't just a one-time limited run, which neither of us are really that hip on. So you'll have opportunities. It is really nice. And I would mention that Murphy and McNeil, free shipping. You know, when you order a soap from them, it's free shipping, and you just really can't beat that. I really enjoy their stuff. Let's see if we have any more questions there. Nothing right now. Let's see. That was a good video. Which one? Your video for
Barbershop de los Muertos. Yeah, dude. It was. There's very few occasions where a soap has that type of impression on me, dude. And this one did, man. And the energy was real good in the video because I love the product, man. I really love the product, and it was just a good situation.
That really was a good one, and like I said, I'm taking it with me because I just think it's a phenomenal scent. It's a good product. It's a good label. It's just they got everything right, in my opinion, on that one. And sometimes things just come together that way. A lot of these releases, you know, you get them and you're like, okay, it's pretty good. But this one just was like one that you really get excited about. And I really like it. And I look forward to people being able to get it when it gets back in stock. And I don't know when that will be, but I know that we're making some more. So have no fear. You'll be able to get it at some point. Do you have any closing words today? Words of encouragement, positive and uplifting statement?
Hey, man, just the world is still tough, man. This pandemic is still around. It's frustrating. I know I'm frustrated with being home. I miss going out to dinner with my wife, but let's try to buckle down, man. Let's try to get everything calm so that we can get back to normal. Enjoy your shaves. Enjoy the conversations with each other, man. And fuck, have a good time. There's still other ways we can have fun out here.
Let's see, we got another question here.
I didn't get Barbershop de los Muertos, part 2. So I don't know. Chris got it. If you don't like it, maybe he'll send it to me. But
I do like
Barbershop de los Muertos 2, I did not get.
Thanks for the great. See, look, Aftershave Dave knows how to do it, man. Just positive and uplifting. That's what we like. Not that you can't be, ask, probing and interesting questions, but you got to love people like Dave that just bring it positive all the time. And he's in the groups just chilling and having fun. And so I would encourage all of you, go check out Up for a Shave Dave on YouTube. If you can't be inspired by his positivity, there's something wrong with you, because when I watch, I always feel good afterwards. And, sometimes I don't get that vibe from everybody. So when I watch Up for a Shave Dave, I'm like, yeah. And I will also mention that Up for a Shave Dave is one of those people that reached out to me and he was like, hey man, sorry for what's going on. So Dave, thank you. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. And not only Dave, but everyone who has reached out, everyone who's been legit and real and caring. I really appreciate that. It certainly means a lot to me. All I can say is thank you. It means a lot. Today's show was sharp yet tuggy. That pretty much, that is probably what the episode should be called, sharp but tuggy. Hey, thank you, Carlitos, for coming around, and thanks for everybody. I really appreciate it. Lather Me Whiskers, Paul just joined, and we're going to wrap this thing up. I want to thank each and every one of you. One thing I want to say is I'm getting ready to travel again. So for those of you on YouTube, I won't be able to catch as many videos, and it'll take me some time to respond to your comments, but I always try to do the best that I can, and I really do appreciate it, and I mean that. David, anything else?
Nah, man, everybody have a great weekend. We won't see you next week for the Thanksgiving holiday, man, but enjoy your time with your families.
Oh, yeah.
I know I'm going to enjoy cooking for the family. It's my favorite holiday of the year because I just love the feel I get when my family's enjoying the great cooked meal that we put together, man. So just enjoy this time that we have together because, moments are fleeting, but we got to enjoy them while we're in them.
Well, we want to wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving this upcoming week, and we want to remind you, stay sharp but tuggy. See you next time. God bless.